How's that Arctic heck here, Matt?
Oh, it's not the onesie.
No? Oh, man.
Hello everyone, and today I'm here to talk about what exactly you should take in your backpack when you're sledding. So this list is going to be very similar if you were a trail rider, but there's some things you may or may not find necessary. There's some things in here where you'd be like, well, why would I even carry that? Maybe you don't need to, or you're thinking of maybe something, why don't they have this? Well, for a mountain sledder, less is more. So you definitely want to keep as much of the weight off your back and on the sled as possible. But at the same time, you want to stay light because you're fighting that sled all day. So you're going to want to take the bare minimum, but at the same time, be well prepared. And I'll show that to you by what I take day to day. Those of you who have spent a bunch of time in the backcountry, up on the mountains, you know that it's a pretty hostile environment, especially if a storm blows in or if you get stuck up there the night. It's not like being in the woods, having your quad break down, and having to walk back to camp in 20 above. And often it's really cold, it gets colder at night. So here's things that you can take with you that'll help you day to day, and will especially help you if you're in a little bit of a fix and have to stay there overnight. So I'm going to leave things out like my camera, my tripod, my drone. I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm just talking about the basic stuff that you should have on your back or on your sled day to day. If you're planning a big trip, lots of stuff easily gets forgotten. So say, I've got my helmet, I've got my coat, I've got my boots, I've got my gloves, I've got my goggles, ready to go snowmobiling. Well, not really. So I'm going to start simple here. So I'm going to start here with my Climb backpack. For mountain sledders, a lot of you know, less is more. So this is a good backpack. It has space for my shovel. It has a water satchel. It has routing for, say, my radio. I'll get to that in a minute. But have a backpack because you are going to need to carry things that you don't want on your sled. So if you get separated from your sled, you want to have some stuff in your backpack to get yourself out. So in addition to a helmet, this one's kind of an optional one. Not everyone wears these. I wear a Tekvest. So basically what this is it's like body armor for, say, motocross or quadding, except this is really lightweight. It's really super flexible, but it is still, like, armor padded. So I got protection on the sides, shoulders, and most important for me, especially if you're taking handlebars to the chest a lot like I am, got protection on my chest. So I do wear Tekvest every day. And it's just something that I wear by choice because I've smashed my ribs into the handlebars so much. So in your backpack, there's a couple of like basic things that people forget. You've got gloves for the day. You don't think you need gloves. Well, it's good to take an extra set of gloves with you, especially toward the end of the day. Lots of times you have to ride a groomed trail down at higher speeds than you normally run on the mountain. So your gloves are all iced up. Your hands are cold even with the hand warmers on. I carry an extra set of gloves with me. I put them on halfway through the day, or I know I'm getting on the trail for the way down. Put the gloves on, and I'm good to go. My hands are dry and warm for the ride down. This is a big no-no to go without, is a shovel. You're definitely going to need it if you're a mountain rider. Learning to ride the trees, you get stuck a lot. So you definitely don't want to go up one of these. This one is one that extends to be a little bit longer. I'll use this thing 3-4 times a day, so you don't want to go up without a good shovel. Don't get a plastic one. Get a lightweight aluminum one. That's what this is. This is a BCA B52 EXT lightweight shovel, and you can move a lot of snow with it. Saw. So lots of these shovels actually come with a saw in the handle. This one, however, does not. So what I recommend is carrying what I have is an 8-inch Gerber saw. You don't really want to go too much smaller than that. Same time, you don't want to go bigger because you're going to want to be able to get through, a 4 or 6-inch tree fairly quickly, especially if you slide downhill into it and you find it all wrapped up in your skid. Something like that can get you out of a fix pretty quickly. So carry a saw with you. I definitely recommend that. A headlamp, you can definitely use a headlamp too. Headlamp is actually a little better because say you're stuck up there at night, you need to get firewood, you still have the use of your hands fully, and you can still see where around. You're not worried about carrying or dropping a flashlight in the snow. This comes with safety. It kind of goes along with the shovel. Probe. You want to carry a probe with you. I carry mine on my backpack. I've got it tethered to the backpack, so if a tree grabs it, I know my probe. It might dangle around a little bit, but it's not going to actually leave my backpack. This is something that I highly suggest keeping on you. Keep it externalized, keep it accessible because you might need it in a pinch. Probe, definitely important. Avalanche Beacon. So basically all I do is I turn this on. Turns on. I keep it in this little satchel. This is something you don't keep in your backpack. You keep this around your body. So all it does is it goes in here, I zip it up. It's on all day. I put this around my body. I can put it, I usually put it over my Tekvest, just so the transceiver doesn't slam right into my body. But definitely something you want to keep on. You keep it tethered to you. And this should be on as soon as you leave the truck and as soon as you get back to it. So this one is something you definitely need if you are riding in the mountains. You don't want to go without this. Now this one's kind of an optional one, but I love to carry it. What I have here is a BCA BC-Link radio. Here's the other part of it. I always have this part just tethered up to my backpack, and I've got it so that it actually goes inside my backpack. And all I do is I take this part out night to night and I'll charge it up. BCA sent me a new battery for it. Thank you guys. So I'll have way better luck with this battery this year. You can have a whole bunch of these. There's tons of channels. Something like 24 hours of idle life off this. We mainly use these to talk to each other. I think it's a 2-mile range or something like that, but we'll leave these on all day, charge them up every night, and we can talk to each other. Snowproof, waterproof, the radio, the speaker part, that's really tough. You have a whole bunch of channels here you can quickly select from. You can use, if you guys get separated or something, it's really easy to just find each other and get back, hook back up and get down the trail safely. Phone. I do carry my phone with me. Often I leave it on the sled if I can. There are stories or these theories that your phone signal will interfere with your transceiver. I don't know if that's true or not. I leave my phone on airplane mode basically all day. And there are lots of places on the mountain that you can get service now. So if you do get into trouble, at least you have your phone with you. I take pictures. We do a lot of video on phones, surprisingly. Baling wire, also known as like mechanics wire. That is a big thing that we like to carry because you can use that to wire pretty much anything back together. If you got to keep your A-arms on the sled, you can use that to wire it around your bulkhead. That is a big thing that we like to carry in the mountains because it's rigid, it's tough, it's flexible, and it can do a little more than rope can, but rope's a good idea too. So I do carry a basic toolkit with me. That's just the toolkit the sled comes with. I keep that in the kit in the sled. I don't carry that on my back. You don't want to have too much weight on your back as a sledder because you're already fighting a lot of elements. You don't want to be fighting a bunch of extra weight. So as well as the basic toolkit, I also carry a knife with me, something sturdy, something that can handle the cold, impact. So I've got this Gerber brand knife that I really like. Carry that with me. I also carry a set of vice grips. Vice grips are great because if you don't have the right size wrench or something else in your toolkit, you can use it to hold things together. You can use it to get things apart. Vice grips are a lifesaver for me. I love carrying vice grips, and that's just something I always add to my toolkit. Another thing I carry, this is a windproof lighter. So it's actually low right now. I don't know if it'll light. Yeah, you can see there. That's actually a butane lighter. So I carry this with me when I'm sledding. Also, I carry this in a little kit with some fire starter. Often I'll use birch bark that I put in a little container. Birch bark works great. A lot of times when you're in the mountains, fire starting isn't the easiest thing to do. Everything's wet, everything's saturated with ice. It's just not easy to do, but when you have to, you have to. You can use fuel from your sled if you need to just get warm and get a fire going. So there's another thing I carry. Zip ties. I carry a little baggie of zip ties when I go up because you can use these for holding together just about anything. If you got to hold a ski on, you got to hold your steering straight for some reason. Ben's broken steering post. We've had to tie tips of skis together. So these can save you quite easy. You can do a million things with them. Tow ropes in my kit. I have a special tow rope that I carry on my sled. Definitely don't want to forget that. Spare goggles. Again, optional thing. At the end of the day, you might really appreciate a set of spare goggles. And the nice thing about this pack, too, actually, is that it has a specific bag that you can stick your extra goggles in. So you don't got to worry about them getting scratched up or anything. So I'll just stick them in here. And I'm good to go. I have an extra set of goggles for the day. Tape. Tape is a big one. I carry two types of tape. I like to carry a little bit of electrical tape because there's a lot more uses for it. I find in the mountains, Duct tape doesn't really get along with the cold, but I still do carry like a small compressed roll, like compress it down like that. There, it doesn't take up a lot of space, and then you have it in your kit. I find electrical tape handles the cold and the water a lot better and wraps up to bind a lot tighter. So if you have to hold something together again, electrical tape is for sure your friend. You can also carry things like a spot transceiver. We don't always carry it. I definitely recommend it. It's a little device that lets you call in for help from friends, family, whoever's hooked up to your plan. You can also call search and rescue, and you can even call in like a medevac chopper depending on your location. They can send you a chopper so you don't actually have to make a call to get out of the backcountry. You can just have this little device that'll help you out a whole bunch, especially if you have a medical emergency. This one's region-based and it's documentation, so your insurance, registration, and plate. It kind of depends where you are and what the rules are there, but it's something to keep in mind to have, as well as your driver's license. Some authorities are asking for that while you're on your sled in the mountains. I know that one's kind of crazy, but that's what's happening now. Spare belt, that one goes without saying. I know lots of people do carry a spare belt as it is. Definitely carry that with you because it's really easy to blow a belt and then you've got nothing. Then you're walking home. We don't usually carry a GPS, or I don't anyways, when we're going to areas we're super familiar with. But if we go into a new area that we know is really large, or we know it's really easy to get lost in. Extra fuel. I do carry extra fuel. Sean carries extra fuel. Generally, we won't need it because we're not hard riding all day. You know, we stop to film, we stop to look at things, we stop to chat. So it is something that's nice to carry, say if you need fire starter instead of reaching into your gas tank with a sock or something like that. So there's a couple things I didn't mention. Spare neck warmer or a spare toque. Sunglasses, you can carry sunglasses if you want. I always like to carry like a Gatorade or something with me, something with a little bit of sugar just to get you through the day. I also carry water with me. Actually, even in this backpack here, and this isn't something I use in the winter, this is more of a spring thing for me. It actually has a water bladder inside of it, but I find when it's really cold out, especially like December to the end of almost February, mid-February, I won't actually use this. I'll actually carry water with me, but once it warms up and we get into that spring weather, that's about all I use for water, because I think I can carry about a liter and a half of water in there. So as well as with your basic lunch, it's good to carry like some sort of power bar or something that can handle freezing, doesn't get too hard. Like really any sort of chocolate bar is a fairly good idea. Those are the things that I carry in my pack day to day. If you have anything that you'd like to add to this list, let me know down there in the comments. If you like this video, remember to subscribe to the channel. Besides that, I'll see you all on the mountain in the next season, and you'll see me all in the next video.
Okay. Oh, that was a bunch of snow up the jacket.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Okay. That's good.
You done? You want me to stop?
Yeah.
No, we'll keep going. How's that Arctic cat gear, Matt?
That's not the onesie.
No? Oh, man.